14. I thought it was a million. 40.
Bro, that's just you.
14,000.
That's just you.
Yeah.
Your whole
It
team
was 1.4.
is not even on that. That's a different report. Hold on. Hey, so this is I usually start the YouTube show early, and then the podcast I'll turn it on.
So this is like live.
Everything's live.
Get out of here.
Yeah, everything's live. It's like say whatever you want, do whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Dude,
There's no, it's no.
800,000.
That's not bad.
And that's not splitting with your brother, right?
That's splitting together.
Okay, so this is between you and him.
Yep. As a team, we did $1,025,000. Like what you did, we did as a team.
Yo, this is something that I don't understand. Why Jen?
You're live now, though.
Okay. These numbers are.
What?
This one's supposed to be way higher.
Why?
Just because, production and all of that, but it's also like really low. I think it's low for the individual.
You think it's low?
Yeah.
Are you sure though? Because look at the way the numbers drop down.
Mm-hmm.
This could be more normal than what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, no, like I look up to this person. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
like,
me too, bro.
It's.
All right, I'm gonna start recording it, right? All right, everybody. We're interviewing today my good friend Jefri Liriano. He runs the Liriano team, and he's the #1 team currently at Keller Williams, right?
Yes.
Super great accomplishment. I think that we're going to talk a lot about different things, see what he's thinking, see how good business is. We're going to talk about life, and we're going to get some advice. And the show is called The Modern American Dream.
Yes, I follow it.
When you Google what is the American dream, the answer you get is this. The American dream is the belief that anyone, regardless of where they were born or what class they were born into, can attain their own version of success in a society in which upward mobility is possible for everyone.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That's pretty
description,
good.
Right?
Yeah, man.
So everything is possible in
anyone, no matter where you
come from. The land of the
from,
dreams.
Yep, you can literally do whatever you want.
We both come from outside of the U.S. We were not born here.
Yeah, we both weren't born here. I came to the U.S. when I was 9. How old were you?
Well, I came to the U.S. when I was like 1 year old.
Yeah.
But I came to stay and do my life here when I was 15 years old.
15?
15, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So let's talk about, tell me a little bit about yourself, like your life, your upbringing, just like who you think you are and how you think you got to who you think you are.
Okay, so I was born in the Dominican Republic,
yep.
1989. Both parents, I grew up with both of my parents, so I was fortunate enough to have my mom and my dad, until I was like 18 years old.
Yeah.
My dad actually went to college for accounting. He was a professor in college too, for accounting. What can I say about myself? I grew up in the Dominican. I lived in New York for a little bit. And then I came here to the U.S., to Massachusetts area.
Yeah.
2004, I went to Lawrence High. So everywhere I passed by was minority. I learned English actually in the Dominican Republic. My parents just sent me to like a private institute to learn English.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to get beaten all the time because I didn't want to. I just wanted to be out playing baseball, maybe chasing a girl.
You weren't trying to learn English.
I know. That's not what I was trying to do.
That's cool.
And today's date is, without that tool, I would not be able to succeed, at least in what I do. Because it's so main, everything gets done in English.
Yeah, like especially here, I think it's one of the main languages, right?
Yeah. Then I went to college for accounting and marketing. I was also doing. I've been doing radio for many years. I think I have about 14 years of experience.
Yeah.
I was a radio host of the #1 radio show in New England for
That's
Spanish.
Great.
I'm the youngest person to ever done a radio marathon at 26 years old.
Yeah.
So I still hold that crown until somebody does it.
A radio marathon?
Yeah. So we were for 24 hours. We did live radio nonstop, 24 hours, just different topics. We had different figures, artists, mayors. We had all type of people in that show, and it was 24 hours.
That's crazy. And nobody's ever done that?
At my age. I was 26. There's been people that have done it, but I'm the youngest person to ever done it.
Like you stayed up 24 hours
Yes.
to do this show?
Yes. It was in the #1 radio station in New England for Spanish. So it was something pretty big. It was called Calentón 24. It was 24 hours of pure show.
Calentón 24.
Yeah. So
but what does Calentón mean?
Calentón was the name of the show. Calentón, it was like the heat of the morning.
All right, I got it.
And 24 is the 24 hours that we did. So that was huge. So I learned a lot about marketing.
Yep.
I think that my biggest forte is marketing, branding, because that's what I've done all my life. I worked at a radio station. I worked in a nightclub business. I was an artist, music artist. I was actually under Sony Latin Music.
I know. I saw a video.
Yeah. So I also worked in the music industry for a while. I really enjoy that part.
That's
traveling,
pretty cool,
performing.
Man. You actually performed and traveled outside of one state?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually went on tour in 2012. I actually competed in a contest that 50 Cent had for like videos. We actually won second place.
Yeah.
For this, and I'm talking about like 10,000 submissions, and we won second place. That was like the biggest kick that we had. It was me and a guy called D Menace that we did a video about what was going on in the city. It was more like raising awareness for all the violence that was going on. So it was like a really positive message. I think that helped a lot to get it out there. So yeah, I think I am a dreamer, an entrepreneur, a marketing guru, I would call myself.
Yep.
I had a restaurant. I was in the restaurant business. I had a seafood restaurant. I was also in the marketing business. I had, you saw my trucks. You saw LED trucks.
Yeah, when I first met you,
Yes.
you were doing something like that, right?
So I was doing a lot of stuff until I came across real estate.
Till you came across real estate.
Yeah,
but you're always like into business, doing business.
Yeah.
Making money since a young kid. Say?
Yeah. At 12, I started my first, like, let's say my first job. Yeah. And I used to do furniture.
Like sell it?
Yeah, no, we used to actually do these type of furnitures.
These chairs?
These type of chairs, couches.
And you get paid for selling them, basically?
So I was getting paid for not selling them. I was getting paid for like refurbishing them. Like, so we used to put a new, like fixing it up. Yeah. It was what we did.
Since you were 12?
When I was 12, that's what I started doing.
Wow.
Then I moved out here and I started working different jobs. But real estate has been like...
How did you come across real estate?
The story about real estate was pretty fun. My uncle, since I was 17, he's a real estate investor. And he was always telling me, you need to get into
Your uncle's a real estate investor?
Yeah, he's a real estate investor. He owns
locally?
Property. Yeah, he owns a few properties locally. And he always was pushing that to me.
Like, since you're a little kid, this guy is
Yeah, he'd been owning properties
and he's like, hey, you gotta buy.
yeah, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I never listened to him.
Yeah.
17, 18, he was like, I'm going to pay for it. Just go to school.
No.
And I just totally.
You're like, whatever, uncle.
No, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be.
Yeah, I feel that.
I was not into, and I didn't know real estate. So I didn't know exactly the potential of what I could have done.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen until I'm 26.
Till you're 26.
26.
How old are you now?
I'm 33.
All right.
3 days ago, I just turned 33.
Wow, happy birthday.
Thank you. So when I'm 26, I'm dealing with my restaurant, dealing with the radio. I had a bunch of stuff going on, and I kept thinking about real estate. I go to my friend's house, Joan Mejia, the photographer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was with us. He showed me that he just signed up for class to take the test.
Yeah, he was telling me you guys took the class together.
Yeah. So he told me, hey, I'm going to go take the class. You want to go? And I'm like, yeah, sign me up. Sign up. We went. We took the class. And I came here to KW after I passed my test.
Yeah.
And, little by little, one of the things that I started doing is I used to stay up late at night researching videos on YouTube, how to become a successful agent, and I come across this gentleman's video.
My videos?
You have a video like 100,000 views for FISBOs, cold calling.
Yep.
So I used to be a telemarketer and a debt collector.
Yep.
So I was not afraid of the phone. So I was like, oh wow, this is going to be a niche for me. I also came across this gentleman, Brian Calcetta.
Yep.
Brian Calcetta. So I just started going through all your videos, all the videos for Brian. I came across Tom Ferry.
Yeah, I watched those too.
I just became my mind just went 100,000 miles. And I told my dad, by the age of 33, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I told my dad, by 33, if I get to apply everything I'm doing, I will be a millionaire.
You said this to your dad?
To my dad. I was with my dad on the phone, and I told him,
why did you say that to him?
Because I saw the amount of money that I could make. Then I saw what I needed to do in order to reach that point. And I knew in that moment that I took the decision that I was going to do. It was like do or die.
Wow.
Remember that time my wife was pregnant with my firstborn.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing good economically. And I got my license. I see the belly. I see my situation. And I knew that I had to do something different in order to really give a different life to
How
my
many
wife.
years ago is this? Not that many.
This was 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
It was 4 years ago that I decided to get into real estate. And so the motivation of seeing the belly growing and me trying to give my son, my wife, my family a different type of life. It was the point. That's something that I think that also happened.
Yeah.
I was reading the other days about your cortex developing. When you're 26 is when your cortex finalizes its development. And that is basically your decision-making muscle.
Yeah.
So I think that before 26, I was not doing all the decisions correctly. So once I turned 26, I think that my mind helped me a little bit to
You think you matured around 26?
Yeah, I would say. At 26.
Next level maturity.
Yeah, I think 26, 27, I started thinking, laser focus. I had a lot of friends that I stopped hanging out with. So I cut a lot of people off.
I did this. I had to do the same thing. I think that, first of all, congratulations, right? Because you actually did something cool where, like, to become a millionaire at 33, that's pretty crazy, right? Like, crazy, like, in an amazing way. Like, what that quote I said earlier is just like
the American dream.
It's so possible, right?
It is.
And it's also cool, but like weird that you have all these things that kind of happen to your life. And I don't know if you know it or not, and if you think that all the things that happened to you basically like led you to this real estate business, right? And then to like, I think your success is, we could say it's fast for the business.
Yeah.
Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Do you see people doing that like every time, all the time?
No.
No, because so it's not easy to do, I don't think.
At all.
And which is impressive, right? But it's also like you set a goal by the time I'm 33, right? Which is pretty like
Specific.
that time. You had probably the pressure of like your kid being born, you know what I mean? And then like all the knowledge that you have, marketing.
Yeah.
Maybe your uncle like saying little things in your ear over time.
Yeah. And there's something, if I would have listened to my uncle at 18, probably I would have not done what I've done today. Because everything that happened from 18 to 26 actually built me to who I am today. And all those skills, all those tools, all those connections actually helped me to be able to grow so fast and make it happen so fast. So I think God's time is perfect. You know, it wasn't my time. Probably I was not mature enough to value the opportunity that we have to be in the U.S., know English, have a real estate license, and you know, to have the people that are around us, because everybody mold you. You know, everything that is around you pushes you in a different way.
Yeah, I think that from my understanding, you have a team, right?
I do.
All right, so the people on your team, like when I see you guys move, I know you guys known each other for a long time, right? I think that's cool. I don't know exactly how you guys are so close, you know what I mean? But when I see you guys out together, I feel like there's a mutual like brotherly and a sisterly respect, right?
Yeah.
So like what do you think about running a team, having people work for you, and just like how that plays into who you have to become and how you have to carry yourself?
Yeah. So it's not easy. It's a constant job, and the toughest part is learning how to hire, learning who to pick. Everybody in my team I've been knowing for at least 10 years. Nobody in my team was a realtor.
Nobody was a realtor.
Nobody was a realtor.
That's amazing.
So I basically started handpicking people that I knew that had the personality to be a successful in real estate.
What personality is that?
Outgoing. Person that is not scared, doesn't have fear. To go and work, and somebody that has work ethics. Because when you're dealing with somebody's biggest asset, selling somebody's home, you have access to their house. That's a big responsibility. Somebody investing money, that's a huge responsibility. So I wanted to make sure that people that had character and that I can actually have them everywhere as my representation. People that I can trust with my eyes closed. So we go with my first one, that it was Annabelle. We played baseball together. He was shortstop. I was the third base in high school. And I knew his character. I know he was a go-getter, super ethical guy. Same thing with Xavier, been my right-hand man since day one. Moses as well, excellent gentleman, very smart guy. His wife, Jen, Chris, who else that I'm missing? Marcos, Tatiana, like all these people that I'm mentioning. Some of them went to school with me, and some of them been knowing me for the past 10 years.
Wow, that's amazing. And you were like, these people might be good.
Yeah, so I reached out and I was like, hey, what are you doing? I have this going on. You want to take a look? And little by little, they started quitting their job and believing in me, which is scary. Like somebody coming and taking a decision to go commission-based.
But they trust you.
They did.
They
do.
That's a lot of trust, right?
So and you do have to become a different person because you need to know how to address situations because you don't talk the same way to everybody.
Right.
There's different ways that you gotta talk to people. Like Xavier, we call him the grumpy bear.
Yeah.
You know, I need to pick the right time to talk to him and exactly, you know, how I'm gonna address it.
Yeah.
And it's different personalities. So sometimes somebody is good for the team, but it might not mix well for the team. So you can't bring that person to the team.
Yeah. It's like a team in sports.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When they win the championships, everybody's working together. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's just what it is.
Yeah. And I would say I'm grateful. Super grateful, and we had this conversation this week. We even prayed about it. How grateful we are for everything that is going around. Because I did told my dad I will become a millionaire by 33, but it's totally different when you're saying it and you're broke. You know, you're saying it, you have all the energy in life, and you really want to do it.
Yeah.
But when it actually happens, and you look back, you're like, wow, it actually happened. So in a little bit, it feels like a little bit unreal.
Yeah. It feels unreal, but like, you know, did you celebrate that you actually got your goal?
Not at all.
Because it's weird, right? When it happens, it's like,
yeah.
Long before then, your bills are paid.
And there's different stuff. There's one thing about being a millionaire, and there's another thing being rich.
Yeah,
it's two different type of things.
Yeah.
A millionaire, you have your net worth is $1 million, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you become rich before you become a millionaire, because rich is a way of thinking, a way that you're gonna carry yourself.
A way of thinking. Yeah. I think that is what takes some people long or short.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way that you think.
Change your mentality, how you're gonna address it. I know that my car is the first one in the parking lot and the last one in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And I take pride in that. Like when I'm leaving at night and I look around, if I see another car, it makes me feel some type of way.
I'll add something to that. If you look in, you know, I know like it looks like everybody does well, but if you look at whoever, like I have a bunch of friends in a bunch of offices who are like top dogs, you know what I mean? And if you look and if you really pay attention, it's crazy, but they all work harder than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's a part of it that's just like, hey, you want to be successful?
You got to outwork everybody out there.
You got to fucking work, right? There's no
shortcut.
That part has to get done.
It has to get done. And the thing is that there's no such thing as you get bigger, you do more deals.
Yeah.
Even if you have admins, assistants, transaction coordinators, you name it, everybody, listing coordinator, it's just a lot of work that it's just more work to you and more things to oversee. So there's no point at, you know, for example, the MREA book talks about the different 7 levels.
Yeah.
You get to a point where you can step out of the business, but that's the hardest part, the 7th level, to be able to step out. Is make $1 million, gross $1 million, net $1 million.
Yep.
And then when you net $1 million, you got to get out of the business. And I think that's one of the toughest part, and that's where I'm working at right now.
Yep.
And how do I step out of the business and it still functions the way that it's functioning right now?
And how do you think you're going to do that?
The same way everybody else has done it. Working, training. Finding talent, you know.
It's just work at a bigger scale.
Yeah, less micromanagement too.
Yeah, which just like goes to hiring good people that, you know what I mean? There has to be a high level of trust, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think is, let's switch gears a little bit, right? For agents that are starting out and that do not know marketing, or maybe agents that are older and have been in the business for a while, and I don't know, maybe they know marketing. You know what I mean? Or maybe they need to make adjustments. What do you think most agents can do, should do, or like just like, hey, like what do you see when you see other realtors? Do you go like, oh, if they did this, they could probably increase their business. If they did that. Do you ever think like that?
Yeah, of course. All the time.
So what are some of those thoughts?
I think a lot of agents don't utilize social media.
Yeah.
They are afraid of the camera. They are afraid of people seeing them.
Yeah.
A little bit embarrassed, we can call it.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be recording videos because videos and audios is not for everybody. If it's not your cup of tea, cup of coffee,
you can write, you can
look for something else.
Yeah.
But I think that right now social media is what helped me at the beginning. Like I started using social media for free. You know, you can just go and start posting stuff about, you know, a credit repair. You know, you looking for a new home, you need to downsize, you need a home evaluation. Just put content out there, but you have to be consistent. The problem with a lot of agents is that they're not consistent, and they want an instant reward.
Right.
For example, when you start cold calling, you might not be as sharp as him or as me when we make a call because we know the business now. We know what to say at every time.
Yeah.
But the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. The more education you get, the
Right.
better you're gonna talk.
Repetition, right?
You're gonna make, you know, you're gonna sit on a day and you're gonna make 100 calls and you're not gonna get anywhere. You're gonna sit on a day, you're gonna make 2 calls, you're gonna get 2 listings in Boston. Let's say you're making $60,000 per property. That's $120,000 like that.
Yeah.
And the key is the consistency. You have to keep on doing it.
The work has to get done. Yeah.
Because when people see your consistency, they start believing it.
Yeah.
I think I saw something in Instagram that says people are not proud of you. They're just amazed you keep making shit happen.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the consistency. If you decide that you're gonna go at social media, write yourself a plan that for 90 days you're gonna be posting twice a day. Check out what is the best time to post. 7 in the morning, 12 p.m., 6 p.m. Do your posts. Check which posts are getting more engagement.
And I think too, as you go, like you get better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like maybe in the beginning it's hard, but then you find different things that'll help you here and help you a little bit there. You know what I mean? And then you just become better. What else do you think about? Like
you have to learn how to talk. If you want to become a successful agent and you're not good at talking, you know, those people that are afraid of public speaking and all these kind of stuff, start taking courses or go on YouTube. YouTube should be your best friend.
I love YouTube.
I was staying up at 2 in the morning to wake up at 5 to go work. And I was just taking everything I could take from YouTube and implementing it and being consistent about it.
Yeah.
And you need to learn how to talk because this real estate is this sales. Whether you're selling a car, you're selling real estate is just where you can get the most amount of commission for a regular sale. We can say.
Right.
But sales is sales at the end of the day. You need to learn how to read body language. You need to learn how to read the tone of somebody, the speed that person is talking, the words that you're going to utilize in order to have that client, you know, steer them to where you want them and where the conversation needs to be going. So it's a combination of a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's how bad you want it because you're not good at doing real estate transactions until you started doing real estate transactions. Myself as well, I was not good at it until I kept on doing more and more and more and more. You get to a point that you feel comfortable. You know, you can throw me in any situation and I know that I will be able to manage.
Yeah.
But it's with time that you build.
You get that confidence. But I think I think I agree with that 100%. Because it takes time and you do have to practice the skills. Mm-hmm. You got to practice the skills that pay the bills.
Yeah, hey, I like that one.
Yeah.
Practice the skills. One of the we took a class together, Bold.
Yeah.
We did Bold together.
Yeah.
And by that time I was already a successful agent because I was selling over $30 million of real estate.
Yep.
You know, and I was doing well.
Yep.
After I took that class, my business just skyrocketed because everything I've learned, I started implementing it right away. I started training the team to utilize it right away. And it's become to a point that right now it's second nature to all of us, how we address situations. Yeah. And I've noticed that, you know, it's little tiny things you start adding and adding and adding and adding. By the time you add all of them, That a lot of problems with a lot of agents is that they think that their first year they're gonna blow up.
Yeah, they do.
Some of them do.
Some of them do, but
those are phenomenons. You know, they're outcasts, we can say.
Yeah.
But we have to be realistic.
How do you think people can, well, I guess like being realistic and then accepting what you get when you get it, right? Can we put that in one thing?
Yeah.
So like you being your age, right? Hitting your success. I think that from my understanding, because you used to promote and stuff, you know a lot of people around, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people know who you are.
Yeah.
Right. So if you think about that, right? All these people that know you, some of them must be older than you.
But most of them.
Most of them,
Most
right?
of them, yeah.
All right. Do you think, like, when you walk in a room and there's a bunch of older people or like a bunch of people that get intimidated or maybe feel awkward because you're doing so good?
I would say yes, because it's just nature.
Yeah.
You know, it's just normal. Like I saw, you know, if you're waking up to go to work at 5 a.m, you know, and you're making $30,000 a year,
Yeah.
and you see that a kid that is 8 years old made 28 millions in YouTube,
Yeah.
it does make you feel some type of way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I walk into a room, I like to be as humble as possible.
Yeah.
And come from a point of helping and adding value to people's life. Yeah. Versus, you know, I'm successful, you know, look at me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to get anywhere by that. Humbleness attracts people, and then humbleness, and then you help them,
Yeah.
you add value to their life, they're going to remember you, they're going to refer you.
Yeah. It goes much longer.
It goes a much longer way. Yeah.
What do you think, do you see people way more successful than you?
I try to surround myself with people that are more successful than me.
How does it make you feel?
It gives me motivation.
Yeah.
It gives me goals. It also lets me know what I don't want. Like,
Yeah.
I've met successful people that I don't want their success, that I don't want their life. I don't want what they're going through. Because the thing is that people see success as butterflies and colors and unicorns.
Yeah.
And in reality, success is a pile of problems under it, and then the success is on top. Like, you had to deal with all these problems in order to reach that little peak.
I think like the more successful, like the more money, more problems.
More money, more problems, but I want a lot of problems.
Yeah, it's different problems.
Bigger problems.
You never have a flat tire problem. You know what I'm saying?
I did. I
like I'm saying, like you don't get a flat tire and worry about like
yeah.
paint. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Money is not a problem.
Yeah, like
that's
those things.
Yeah,
stop.
like I my Range Rover, I hit it on the sidewalk. You know, and the Range Rover just sent me a loaner. They pick up the car for me, and I was like, my problem. If I would have had my old Honda, I would have had to, you know, shovel a little bit of snow, get under it, and change it.
Yeah.
But the problems are bigger. You know, problems get bigger. But I'm actually grateful that I have those type of problems.
Yeah.
You know, and there's something that I want to bring up. The people say that money does not bring happiness.
Yeah.
Whoever says that money does not bring happiness does not have money.
Yeah.
Because happiness is a different thing. Because people think that it's going to be a total happiness. Happiness is a momentarily.
Yeah.
Happiness is not 100%.
Yeah.
But knowing that your mom doesn't need to work because you have her covered, knowing that you have a great education for your kids, a great future for your family, it does give you a sense of happiness. Right. And that's the happiness that I'm talking about. That's the happiness that the money brings you, that is a security.
But
then, you know, we still get depressed.
Yeah. That's different than internal joy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can have money and still be miserable.
Yeah, of course.
Right? I know people with money that are miserable, and I know people with money that like.
Yeah, I know people that don't have no money, and they're happier than anybody else.
And then there's people that don't have money and they're miserable too. You know what I mean? There's like all kinds of situations.
But money does bring you to the door of happiness.
It gives you the chance to it eliminates the financial part. which gives you the freedom to be
more, to be you.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah.
So how old are your kids?
I have a 4-year-old and a little princess. She's 2 years old.
2 years old and 4 years old.
4 years old.
What do you see, like, has being a dad changed you?
A lot. It actually motivated me to do something to give them a different life.
Wow.
It motivates me. You gotta have kids in order to understand it.
Yeah.
You know, I always heard people saying my kids motivate me and everything.
Yeah.
But until you have your own,
yeah,
you do not know real love until you meet your kid.
Something like clicks.
I almost fainted when I saw my little girl.
Yeah.
I got weak. Yeah. So
that's crazy, man.
Yeah. She came in to rock my world.
Yeah. My brother's about to have a little girl. I think that's cool. You know.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It definitely changes a man in like a good way.
You have to carry yourself different because now you think, you know, things that we used to do when we didn't have kids, we didn't think about it that much.
Right.
But now I think about, like, what is my kid is going to think about me when he grows up. Like, I would like for my kid to be proud of who his dad is.
I was thinking that today too.
Yeah, like I want my son to be proud.
Yeah.
That
would be cool.
That I'm his dad.
That would be cool.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm super proud of who my dad is.
Of your dad?
Yeah, my dad is a great businessman, you know, really smart guy. He taught me a lot about numbers, money.
Really?
My mother too, she's a hard worker. I don't know how the heck my mom got us through with the check that she used to get. She used to get $11,000 a year.
Yep.
And she had 2 kids to take care of, and we never missed a meal, home, clothes. I don't know how the heck she did it. You know, that is something that I respect so much.
You know, I think like a part of your success, if you think about it, for good parents, when their kids become something, right? Like you're saying, you think you have good parents, right?
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so like they must be proud, right?
Yeah, man. And it actually felt good. One time I was having a conversation with my dad, and he told me that I am what a father would like as a son.
That's cool.
And my father is an icebox.
No.
My father is an ice
cold.
My father can get his leg could be chopped off and he would not shed a tear.
No.
My father is, I call him a bear, you know? And then so my father says something like that, like it made my day, my life, my whole freaking year.
Man, that's cool.
That is, man, like I've struggled a lot.
Yeah.
You know, this my life has not been fun.
Yeah.
Right. But I wouldn't change it. Like everything that happened molded me to who I am today.
Yeah.
And all I think about now is how can we keep on growing. And I read a book from this gentleman. Wow, he's a great author. Developing the Leader Within You, John Maxwell.
Yeah, John Maxwell. Yeah.
And in that book, there was a line that said, the way that you can determine how successful a leader is depending how many lives he can change of the people that are around him.
Yeah.
And me building a team and bringing people in, converting them into agents, seeing them become successful, seeing them to become cappers, them working their way to become millionaires themselves, it gives me a huge sense of success because when you have the power to change somebody's life economically, mentally, physically, it's a huge power, and it makes me feel so. It's unselfish.
It's gratifying.
Yeah, it's unselfish.
Feeling,
it has a lot of gratitude, and they've been.
You're making people better,
and they're helping me too. Because they make me. They're the one that been my backbone for me to grow the way that I've been able to do.
Yeah,
so.
Like I don't know if John Maxwell said this, but like a leader with no followers just taking a walk in the park. You know what I mean?
Leader with no followers.
So like for people to be with you, they must believe in what you're doing. You know what I mean?
And it is like for some, I do seminars for like first time home buyers.
Yeah.
And like these are seminars that right now we're doing one with like 400 people plus, like 400 or 500 people that we're going to be putting in an auditorium.
Yeah.
And when I look at this, and when I look at the people that are there are people like my parents' age, and they're coming to hear me speak and to give them knowledge. It's also a responsibility because these are, the community that comes out, they believe in you, they trust you. So you have double the work because you just don't have to perform and give them good information. You have to keep up with the word that you give them.
Right.
You have to deliver what you're promising. So
that's pretty cool. I think that's cool to think about like that, but you don't have to. You could just be like, bring 400 people on, who cares? But you have like a sense of connection too. I think like most realtors are good people because to do this job, you have to really care about people.
At the beginning, I always used to hear, don't look at the money, don't chase the money.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I did when I got my first offer accepted, it was that I calculated how much I was getting.
Yep.
What was my split?
Yep.
How much taxes I was going to pay. Like I wanted to know the exact number, how much I was staying. I was looking a lot at the money.
I used to do that too a lot in the beginning.
But then it got to a point that I've noticed that given an amazing service, people remember you. People start sending you people again and again and again. Like recently, a gentleman just called me. I sold his property about 2 years ago. He bought another one. He wants to sell that one, moved down to Florida. And him calling me and saying, hey, I want your service again. It just keeps reminding me that if you do a good job by someone, one of my first listings, I went and I was competing with a top agent in the area, veteran agent, 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And they didn't hire me.
This is your first listing?
One of my first ones. I would say like first 10.
Early in your career.
Early in my career.
Yeah.
I went in, the guy knew who I was because like sort of a local celebrity because of the radio and all of that.
Yeah.
And the agent prior to me said, he's young, he doesn't know what he's doing. So they didn't hire me. And 30 days later, the agent got fired because she couldn't sell the house.
Yeah.
The gentleman calls me back, but he called me back because when he called me to tell me that he was not going to hire me, I told him, okay, great. I totally understand why you're taking that decision. You're hiring a veteran. But if that person doesn't answer your phone call and you are in a situation that you need assistance, please feel free to call me and I'm not going to charge you. Please call me to consult and I will be able to give you everything that you need at that point. That, it was not what he was expecting. He was expecting me to give him like a negative answer or something like that. I just told him, dude, just call me.
Yeah.
The guy called me, told me she got fired, come and sell my house. First open house, and I sold the house in about like 14 days.
Wow, that's crazy. And that person now is calling you back to do business.
That person is calling me
Which
back
is you doing good business and not worrying about the money.
Yeah, but it took a point for me not to start worrying about the money because it's
after you make a little
you will lie to yourself if you say that you're not thinking about the money. You have to be realistic.
For any realtors, I think like in the beginning, you want to make money, go get it, try your best. You can't help that thing in your head, But like there's a point, I don't know what point, but it's much less than people think where you make some money. And it's usually like the point where all your bills are paid and you're never going to worry about them.
Yeah. Like I found out that we surpassed $1 million because you told me.
Yeah.
I was not paying attention at the numbers because before when I used to pay attention at the numbers, I used to feel some type of way. Yeah. I used to be like, I'm not performing as well. I need to be doing more.
It's hard not to feel stuff looking at that.
Yes. Right? And that just messes with your brain.
Yeah.
And you don't give your 100%. So I decided not to look at numbers. Obviously, I look at like team performance, expenses, profit. I'm an accountant, so every Sunday I'm sitting down and I'm looking at my week, every week.
Yeah.
But I'm not comparing myself to other agents because it started giving me a little bit of a headache, just comparing myself.
Talk more about that.
So I decided to become a horse. Those horses when they're racing, they just do this and they just looking at the line,
Yeah.
I set goals for the year and I try to crush it every month, crush it by quarter. And then at the end of the year, I look at it and I was like, we had a goal this year and we actually ended up going through the goal. And I actually found out because you went to the office to congratulate me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? And you brought the numbers, and then I found out what it was.
Yeah, that's why you're here on the podcast.
Yes.
I think that I think that it's cool that, I don't know, there's people when you get to certain levels of success, right, that'll say good things about you and bad things about you, right?
Yeah, always.
Like Wayne Dyer said one time, I could give a speech to like 1,000 people, and like all 1,000 will have a different perception. I can't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
No, you can't.
You
You can't think about what other people are thinking. You gotta have a thick skin, because if you care about what the other one is thinking about you,
Yeah.
you're giving them too much power.
And
Over.
then the same thing goes with looking at numbers, because I'm not the only one that looks at numbers. You weren't the only one. That agents do this because of the
Yeah.
personality type.
We're competitive.
We're competitors. And I think what people forget is like, there is nothing you can get by like, you can get motivation if you use it right, but you really got to be humble enough to stay in your own lane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I saw a clip of like Fat Joe talking on an interview, and he goes
About his kids, right?
He goes, I tell my kids all the time, we're not Jay-Z, we're not P. Diddy, because like he's successful, but that train like could never end.
Yeah.
Right?
There's always going to be somebody above you,
Better
somebody
than you,
below
there's
you.
always somebody below you, and I think like for agents at every level, they have to. You gotta realize that like it's not competition. It's like we're kind of all in the same boat.
Back again to John Maxwell. He
Yeah.
talked about you need to have 3 friends. The ones that are below you,
Yeah,
so you know how far you've made it.
yeah.
The ones that are at your same level, so you can share, thoughts and
Where
situations.
you are, yeah.
And then the ones above you, because you need to see what's the mentality, to the next level and how you're going to reach it. But it's true. You can't be comparing yourself to others, because we're all fighting different battles.
Different battles, different like relationship stuff, different family situations, But I think like the best way I learned personally to do it for myself is you look back at your pictures, and you go, hey, am I better this year than I was last year? Am I better this year than I was 15 years ago? Am I like, do I like what I'm becoming? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think like that helps a lot with
Mhm.
a lot of things. So let's switch gears. We're going to talk a little bit more about marketing, and like you used to do radio advertising, and like you fill in a room with 400 people. So how big do you think you want to grow your business?
Wow.
Do you think like, just like you thought by 33 I'll be a millionaire, do you think like by 43 whatever, you know what I mean?
I do have different goals now. I do want to keep on growing the team.
Yeah.
I want to add more people to the team. I want to add more people to my back end.
Yeah.
But honestly, now I'm jumping to the investor side.
Yeah.
In real estate, which is a whole different world. You should know about it.
Yeah, just
right now you have a crazy deal going on.
Crazy. Yeah, it's a different world.
Congrats, brother, because it takes a lot to make that happen.
Yeah, I know you're doing it too, and I think like the purpose of the real estate or any business is to give you the life that you want, and like obviously investing super fun.
Yeah. So I think that in the next, I'll say when I'm 40,
mm-hmm.
I want to be in a different position where I'm helping other agents become what they want to do.
Yeah.
I see myself with my own construction company and doing new construction.
Yeah.
Keep on investing in real estate. One of the things that I want to have is lots of rental units.
How many? Do you ever think of a number?
Or? That I haven't put a number to it, but I did do a number to what my perfect lifestyle will be.
Ooh.
And how much it will cost my perfect lifestyle.
a number based on rental properties?
Yeah, a number based on rental properties. And I will need about 133 properties.
133
Units.
properties.
Doors, we can call
Yeah,
it. 133 doors. You know,
I got it. If each door was what, like?
if each door was an average of $400 to $500 in profit, you know, and that's normally what you see in the
That's like doable.
Doable.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna see people
That's
have crazy
considering
numbers.
mortgages and
That's
acquisition.
net. Talking about net.
I got it. Yep.
You're looking at $400 or $500 a door. I would say prime goal would be to net $1 million out of my rental income. To be able to net $1 million yearly from rental income, and that's the goal. That's what I'm chasing, and that's what I want to do. That's what I will be doing.
And that will allow you to do what? Like, what's your ideal life? Like 130 properties. So what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with this?
One is, I like nice stuff.
You do like nice stuff.
I think we all have something that we like. I'm a fan of cars.
Yeah.
I love cars.
You see yourself like getting more cars?
Yeah, I see myself, buying myself my dream car, that is to have a Lamborghini.
A Lamborghini?
A Lamborghini.
Wow.
But at that time when I buy a Lamborghini, my dreams are going to change. There's going to be more things. Because your mentality keeps on changing.
Yeah, as long as you keep growing.
But we're talking about material stuff. But at the same time, I want to know that the day that I leave Earth, my family will not have any type of economical problems.
Yeah.
And that is something that I'm happy that today I can go, and I know that it will be set.
Yeah.
And it gives me so much peace, because I look at those little kids, I look at my wife, and I think, what are they gonna do if I'm not around? Like it creates that fear.
Yeah.
So I don't want to die anytime soon.
Yeah, life is good, man.
Life is amazing.
Right.
I enjoy it. But I would say, a life of abundance and be able to keep changing people's life. I can hit $1 billion in net worth.
Yeah.
And I love this. Like, I like it. This is not work for me.
You enjoy the
I enjoy
business.
it. I enjoy going to a property, evaluating the property, sitting down with that seller and saying, okay, this is our marketing strategy. Sitting with an investor and say, okay, this is a 20-unit building, has an 8% cap rate. We're looking at X amount of dollars cash on cash.
Business, and you enjoy the business side of it.
I love it. Because every day you meet someone new, a different situation.
Yeah,
it takes a different you every day to challenge me.
It grows. I think a lot of people want to get into the business. You know what I mean? Right? Like, people all the time. Last year was like the most amount of realtors ever, according to the National Association of Realtors, like over 1 million, broke 1 million. And everybody, it's a good business. Everybody's like, I want to do real estate. And I think that what people don't realize is this business makes you grow.
Yeah.
Right?
It makes you a different person.
Yeah, it's weird, but if you stay with it and you work hard, like, you can't help but become, it's almost like you have your like personal development, and real estate is like a train that helps you get there faster because it makes you develop yourself.
It opened my mind to so many stuff. One of the things that really got me, I would say, out of balance, it was, I didn't like reading.
Yeah.
And then the first book that I actually sat down and read, it was that one, Developing the Leader Within You by John Maxwell. After I read that book, I was like, wow, like I was missing so much. And I started reading books. I started reading a book a week.
Yeah.
Every week, a different book. It got to a point that I saturated myself with information. I went through freaking 40, 50 books like that. In a year, I read like over 50 books. In a week, I was reading sometimes 2 to 3. Yeah. I was just crushing books. Yeah, and it got to a point
like on a phone on
Audible. So I wake up in the morning at 4:35 and I start working out and I'm listening to my Audibles. I stop it, I take notes and stuff like that. I'm driving. I don't listen to music. I listen to Audible.
Yeah,
But it actually affected me because it got me to a point that I got all this knowledge, exactly what I needed to do. And I know exactly which book, fucked up my head.
Yeah.
And it was Robert Kiyosaki. He has a book called Increasing Your Financial IQ.
Yeah.
So I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, the real book of real estate with Donald Trump, and then I got to your financial IQ, increasing your financial IQ.
Yeah, I don't think I read that.
When I hit that book,
Yeah.
it did increase my financial IQ, but it also made me feel like, oh my God, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I should be doing this. I should be investing in the stock market. I should be investing in crypto. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. Oh
Just
God,
through your mind, like everywhere.
Yeah, I started going 1,000 miles an hour. And at the same time, it was like the first time that I started making like $100,000 every month.
Yeah.
And when all that hit me at the same time, I got depressed.
You got depressed?
I got depressed.
Right? Why?
Because first of all, I started thinking about my uncle that told me to do this. And I'm like, I could have been doing all this a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I was just losing my time. Just wasting time and not doing what I had to do. I'm making all this money, but I'm not making all the right moves. I'm not investing in this. I'm not investing in that.
Yeah.
So all these stuff started going through my head, right? And then,
like, you thought you're basically not
reaching my potential.
I got it.
Right?
Yep.
And then I remember my family was in vacation. I was alone in the house. So everything, like I was dealing with all this by myself. It was like 2 weeks of this.
Yeah.
And I didn't go out. I didn't do anything. I was just home. And then one day I sat, I'm like, but why am I sad? Like, I'm actually should be happy that I have the knowledge now that I learned from those books.
Right.
That I have the money to do the investments.
Right.
And that was like my wake up, And I think it was summer 2019. I think it was.
You were like chasing.
Yeah. And I was not congratulating myself for the success.
For all your accomplishments.
I just kept like hitting myself like I should be doing better. You got more into you. You should be doing better.
Enough. You didn't do this. You could do more.
Yeah.
And then what was the next?
I stopped listening to books. I was like, I have to stop. I need to give myself a break. I started listening to music when I was going to the gym.
Yeah.
Music. I started giving myself
relax.
I started relaxing. I got away from the books for like a good month.
Yeah.
Just try to bring a lot of positive things to me. And there was this thing about Tony Robbins. He has like a quick 45-minute audio that just gives you motivation and energy, and you can do everything you can do. So that's how I got back to listening to stuff.
Yeah.
I went to Tony Robbins, then I read the book Cash by Tony Robbins, which is super long. And little by little, I started training myself to be happy, to understand where I'm at, and to know that I got time and to keep on developing myself. And that was the point where I started becoming mentally stronger, knowing who I needed around, who I didn't need around, and when to play green light, red light with my emotions.
Yeah, which makes you more free.
Yeah, if you don't control your emotions, you're done.
You're done.
You're done.
Yeah, you have to be able to control your emotions.
You're done.
You have to say to yourself, I think, like, I went obviously through crazy times in my life where, like, when relationships didn't work, when I couldn't make money for like my son, like to buy him nice sneakers and different things like that, or like to pay the bills. You know what I mean? Like, you end up thinking so crazy. And at one point, I ended up, after reading so many books and just studying, I became so low that I just said, you know what? I'm in charge of my mind. I'm in charge of what's going down. I'm in charge of how I think. And like, I don't need anybody to pat me on the back. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I know if I'm a good person and my intentions are good. And I know, like, when you do good, everybody congratulates you. You know, so it kind of becomes empty after a while.
Yeah.
And then when you do bad, because just like you, like when I was a kid, like I was that kid where people kind of look down on, like he's up to no.
The black sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like if people look down on you, and then you end up thinking that's bad. And the biggest thing I learned for myself and what I teach my son is this: it doesn't matter. Be good to people, but at the end of the day, like, hey, listen, if you wanna like be something or be confident in yourself, you have to look in the mirror and you have to tell yourself, like, hey,
You have to believe it.
I love you. I got your back. Wherever you are, I'm good with it. However you are right now, I'm with you. You know what I mean? And I think that gives you power because it grows you to stand on your own 2 feet, not just like physically, but emotionally.
You gotta have a little bit of cockiness and ego.
You have
Ego
to.
is not your amigo, but self-love is part of ego.
Yeah,
you gotta have a little bit. You can't have too much.
The world, I think, naturally, we human beings, the world will try to test you and will try to break you.
For example, like artists, for example.
Yeah.
If an artist does a good deed,
Yeah.
it doesn't get that much publicity.
Yeah.
But if an artist did something negative,
Mm-hmm.
it's all over the place.
Yeah.
People will promote negativity. The world is negative.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I stopped doing is looking at social media before going to bed.
Yeah.
Because I used to come across news and stuff that make me feel some type of way, then I can't sleep. I can't relax. So you have to start like shutting down places and your mental. If you're not 100% sharp up here, you can't perform.
Yeah.
You won't be able to go to a meeting and perform 100%. You won't be able to.
Let's start wrapping it up. And I think that the biggest thing in real estate and in business and in life is this: like, let's be honest, marketing is a thing you can learn, right?
Yes.
Leadership is a thing you can learn, right?
Yes.
All these things you can learn to become a better person, to develop your mentality, to make more money, right? Like you could set goals. But the thing you have to do, no matter what, is change your circle.
Yes.
Right?
Your surroundings.
You have to be willing to do the hardest thing of all and decide to, at some point, not everybody can be in my circle.
Sometimes family members.
As close as that.
Yeah, and you gotta love them because they're your family members, but you also have to love yourself enough to understand that those are not the people to be around.
Yeah.
And you need to surround yourself with people. Like I love coming in here, sitting down with you and chopping it off.
Yeah.
Because we're at the same level, we're going through the same amount of things, and we see eye to eye. Yeah. That's the type of company that I'm looking for. But if we go back to the old friends that we have, they're probably back in the hood, having the same amount of problems that they had 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of negativity. When me and you meet, we're talking about plans, projects, growth. What are we going to do this year? What's your goal? To have this new flip. I have this new project. I bought this new property.
Opportunity.
And
talking about growing people, becoming
Yes.
better, leadership books, like all that.
Yeah.
I think changing your circle is one of the hardest things to do. But I also think that you either do it or don't do it, but you are the circle that you keep.
You only meet yourself.
Right.
In reality. You meet yourself. And one of the things that you will not be able to learn is to be hungry.
Right.
That's the only thing.
Right.
Because if you really, really want it, like anybody watching this, like if you really would want to become successful in anything, it doesn't have to do real estate. It just happened that what we do is real estate.
Yeah.
But if you're hungry enough, you will do anything that you have to do in order to get there. It doesn't matter what you have to do. I remember I had a lady I co-called her. And she wanted to sell her house, but she said, I'm going on vacation tomorrow. The only way I'll sign that document is if you're here when I leave to the airport at 4 a.m. You know what I was doing? 3:45. Knocking the door of her house. I got dressed. I went. I signed it. I was super hungry. And probably I'll still do it in today's day.
Yeah.
depending how much is the listing for. You know, I might
Right,
push it for
right.
the afternoon now.
Your time's worth more, right?
Yes.
But like you have to be hungry.
And and another thing that you need in order to grow is to have a growth mentality.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of agents that are successful. They've been doing it for quite some time, and they don't even have an assistant.
Right.
You need to learn how to leverage yourself, how to hire somebody, how to train that person, how to trust that person. It's not easy. Success is not going to be by yourself.
Right.
It can be by yourself.
There's a quote, nobody succeeds alone, right? Nobody succeeds alone. So I think like if you think about that, then it's important. Who you succeed with is important.
Who you have on your table.
You know, I also know that at every level, you can't go to the next level unless you're willing to let go of. You know what I mean? You can't climb to the next floor and stay on this floor. You're either going to that floor or you're on this floor.
Yeah, there's tough decisions.
Yeah, there's tough decisions. But I think overall, business is good, right?
Business is great.
Life is good.
Life is beautiful.
Family life's important. The things that you want to accomplish as a man, like cars, Lambos, whatever, right? Like that's important. I think like all of that and internal work, like the books and then the stuff and the reading is important. All of that makes a round wheel, right?
Yeah, working out, your health.
Yeah,
you know.
And I think that first of all, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Second of all, thank you. That was cool. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for the invite, brother.
And I think like let's keep growing. You're changing lives, and both obviously in real estate sales and I guess in real estate client sales and real estate like team brokerage. You're developing people, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool because as long as you keep getting better, anybody that looks at you is gonna have to keep getting better.
Yeah, they're gonna have to keep up.
No matter what,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Congratulations to you too, brother, because his numbers are extremely impressive.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you invited me. I know I had to reach a certain level to be able to make it here.
You didn't have to, but I think that it's cool because what people can learn from you is that it's simply this, like you're, in my mind, one of the fastest growing agents that I've ever seen, from the time you got into business to just the way you grow and the way you carry yourself. I think like it took me kind of by storm. Like I didn't see you coming in here and just crushing deals and becoming number one. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But the speed that you did it at is impressive. But what's more impressive is like, I think you're a good person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes making the kind of money we make, hey man, you could be an a-hole.
It amplifies who you are.
It amplifies who you are. So I think like.
But you know also what? I think that our lows allows us to be grateful, and with gratitude comes humbleness.
Yeah.
Because if you become an asshole, people are gonna get away from you. And you can be successful for so long and things can fall.
Yeah. And you end up living like a crappier life. I think like I'd be happy for me personally, to just grow as much as I possibly can. I love surrounding myself with like people better than me. And like, I'm proud of the fact that all my friends are like, I feel like I could let my son take advice from all the people that are in my circle.
That's huge.
What more would you want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're thinking like a father now.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Because like, you have to, right? At the end of the day, I think happiness is two things. Like financial, for most people that I see and that email me and message me, and like, I get it, you know, like you've known that hard times, right?
Yeah.
Right, not being able to pay your bills and stuff. And I think that like when people message you, they don't realize it's not millions that they need to make.
No.
100,000 or 150,000. If you don't blow your money, you could have a good life.
Yeah.
right?
You definitely can. Well,
But
even less than that.
even
With
less
100
than that.
grand, with 100 grand, you get to manage yourself around.
Yeah, but I think if people want to get to millions, which is what this is, right? That's the game, the American dream, right?
Yeah.
How much can you become as a person? If you want to do that, it's like you got to put in that work. You got to put in work and you got to keep growing.
And it looks far. When you're starting from zero,
it looks far.
it looks far to become a millionaire. It looks
So
really
far.
far. But in reality, it's all about how hungry you are. You can get there fast, like I did.
Yeah.
Or you can get there, on a slow process, but you can still get there.
You can still get there.
It's all about how hungry. I think I became a little bit obsessed, and I wanted it so bad, maybe a little bit too much, too addicting.
Yeah.
Which I neglected a little bit of the time that I should have been spending with my family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's things that I do different now. Like I have a family day.
Yeah.
That I dedicate my Sundays to my family. Sometimes I take days during the week, like a Wednesday or Tuesday, and I'll go to the zoo with the kids or something like that, to be human too.
Yeah.
Because
you have to.
work. Also, it messes with you. You need to have the family love.
Yeah.
You need to have your friends. You need to have some time off. Like I don't have any hobby.
Yeah.
And I just decided to create a hobby. Like I love baseball, so now I will be playing in the summers. Like I just build a team, and I will be playing here and there.
Yeah.
And that is something that doesn't take money, that doesn't take anything, but it will bring so much joy and relaxation to me that I need that.
You have to have a balance.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
You asked me, what's your hobby? I was like, making money. Like I'm happy doing that. But we know that we need something different than this. This is not it. This is not all of it.
It can't be all.
You got to have a balance. Like our friend Carpenito one time told me, is God, family, then business.
Yeah, which is what I love. I love that too. That saying is solid, right?
Yeah, super solid.
If you're right with God and you're right with your family, you'll be right with your business. You know what I mean? And if one's not right, it's like you could do it, but it makes it emotionally harder. You have to become a colder person, but you could become successful and still be a warm person.
Yeah, which is what you just mentioned, that people that make a lot of money like us, that changes their heart.
Yeah.
And when you change your heart, that's your downfall.
Yeah. And I think that for most people, for all people, probably, if you could think and you're obviously like, you have hands and arms and whatever, you could do whatever you want. But there's a guy out there, Nick Wojcik or something like that. He has like no hands, no legs, and he's super successful, like public speaker and everything. So I think like possibilities are endless, but you got to decide too what you want, and then you got to go get it.
And I think that there's people out there that were born and have it.
Yeah.
So that they don't. And if you're looking at this and think that you're one of those that don't have it, then you might not have it, because the first thing is that you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that you have it.
Yeah.
You need to believe that you got the skills in order to do it. Like people don't understand the power of believing in yourself, and actually believing in yourself, because some people, they just say it.
Yeah.
But they don't have the confidence in their gut.
Like true belief.
Yes. If I tell you, dude, I'm going to go through that wall, it's concrete, I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Let's believe next day I'm going to be on the other side.
Yeah. True.
Because that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And to end it with this one, I saw online a frame.
Yeah.
An average man lives about 72 years, average woman 78.
Yeah.
And it has like little light bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
For each day that it passed by, the light bulbs goes off until it hits 72, right? And you give them your age, when you were born. So every day the light is turning off. So you see that your life is ending little by little. I think it's a little bit dramatic.
Yeah.
But some people need that, because you're going to die.
You're going to die.
You don't know if you're going to die tomorrow, later on in an hour, but you're going to die. That's the only thing that is sure. And the last thing that I want is, if I'm in my bed dying, to feel that I didn't do everything that I had to do, or that I didn't give my all. You're sitting there and you want to become successful, understand that you're going to die. And the day you die, you're not successful. When you die, you're just going to feel, you're going to regret
on your
every
deathbed,
single day. Like, love hard, work hard, fight hard. But everything you do, you got to do it with a passion. Like, because you're going to die one day, and I don't want to go out.
You don't want to have regrets.
I don't want to have any regrets.
Yeah, I think that's solid advice. We're going to end with that. Oh, that was cool. Ooh. All right, stop that.
This was great, brother.
Thanks, man. This is the YouTube show.
Mm-hmm.
The YouTube show goes on until after I shut the podcast off. So if you want to drop some knowledge.
Oh, what can I say? Nothing. I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the DNA for inviting me, for also giving me a lot of the knowledge, because a lot of the stuff, like when I started building my team, I remember I came to you and I asked you, your 2 cents of the team building and everything. So, you started helping me with that. So.
I think for me, a lot of my friends, like, I didn't do it as fast as you. It's like super slow, but still much faster than most people. Like, no doubt about it. Especially the last 4 years, But I have friends and I have colleagues and in business that are like crazy numbers, and they always would talk to me, no matter what. Like, they'd always give me their advice. And if you think about coaching, like, sometimes some people will be like, give me $1,000 to talk to me for a half hour, which is cool. But like, it's crazy the amount of people that are so far ahead of you that'll stop to tell you, like, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. And it's all solid info. You know what I mean? So I think, like, I do that because people do that for me all the time. And I think, like, when I was doing no business, I thought it was crazy that people would talk to me who were doing business.
Why are they going to talk to you? Why are they, what are they gaining from talking
That's
to
how you think, but people, like, want to share.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on. Let's end it with this.
What
this is just for the YouTube. I have this. This is the moleskins, all right? I have an old moleskin. I have a new moleskin. These are quotes and sayings and things I find that, like, if anything happened to me, speaking of shit happening to you, like, if my son found these, it would be like stuff I want him to see. Like, so you can pick the old one, the new one, and then you pick a page, and then I'll read you.
Give me the old one. That looks like it's been through a lot.
Yeah, the old one looks a little beat up. All right. You in the old one have up to page 33.
33 is my number.
33?
33 is my special number.
Really?
Anything that happens to me is 33. If I'm going to a listing, it's 33 miles, 33 minutes.
That's your number?
It was for 33 days on the market.
Wow. I have a number too. Mine is 35.
35?
Yeah.
I see it in yours.
Yeah. That's my, like, lucky number.
Yeah, that's 33 is my number.
That's cool. All right, 33. There's only one quote on 33.
We only need
one thing.
We only need one thing.
On all the other ones, sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3. But on 33, there's 1. This is the one. I wrote this. I usually date it in October 16, 2018. Those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day, unseen, unheard, but always near. Still loved, still missed, and always dear. You have anybody that was close to you that passed?
So 33 means, every single time you see number 33, it means that somebody that you love and passed away is showing you the number 33 to show you that they're near you, protecting you.
Yeah.
So every single time I see number 33, I know that has to be my grandfather looking over me.
And you remember him, and he was like
he's
like a solid.
He was a stud.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Which are the odds, huh? 33.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man. That's the only thing on 33.
Brother, thank you for having me.
All right,
thank you everybody for being here.
That was cool, man.
Send me that and I'll blast it, sir.